Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. My name is Muhammad Nuruddin Lemu, and inshallah in this episode we will continue where we stopped on the subject or the general theme of self-improvement, purification of the soul, and how to be a better human being. And may Allah continue to guide all of us, including, in fact, especially myself. In the last episode, we started on a story which I hope we will complete this time. It started with the story of a baker who was at home, everything fine. He had a fallout with his neighbor who was always a very obnoxious neighbor. They started fighting, threatened each other. Unfortunately, the next morning the baker came out and found the dead body of his neighbor outside. He freaked out, escaped and left the town, really very scared for his life. What were people going to say or do? Family didn't know where he had left or gone to. And he went and spent some years, nearly 2 decades, working with a very wise man, Suleiman. And at the end of his time with Suleiman, he decided he was going to get back on the road home, get back to his journey back home. And just before he left, Suleiman gave him 3 pieces of advice in exchange for 3 very valuable gold coins. The first piece of advice was stick to the road home. Don't get distracted. Just stick to the road home. Stay committed to the right path. The second piece of advice was learn to mind your own business and don't be quick in judging. Diagnose before prescribing. Understand before you start to answer. And the third piece of advice for the third gold coin was save your anger for the next day. However angry you are about something today, don't act on it. Handle it tomorrow. Save your anger for the next day. The baker left Suleiman's place. On the journey, he met some fellow travelers. They became friends. Evening came. They wanted to spend the night, so they decided they were going to go and spend the night at a nearby hotel. But it was off Suleiman's main road. And the baker. And the baker then said to them, you know what, yeah, I spent a lot of money on this. And you know what, let me just get. And they tried to come, but the place is not far away. This is not taking you off the road home. This is just sideways. He said, it doesn't matter. Since I've paid so much, a whole gold coin, let me just take the advice and keep on my journey back. Few minutes later, after they have left, the baker gets to hear gunshots and realizes armed robbery. These people have been killed, and he is so grateful. He's stuck to the road home. He now actually appreciates that gold coin he paid for that advice was worth it. And he prayed for wise Suleiman who gave him that piece of advice. He carried on the journey. And it got very dark, thunder, clouds were coming, and he decided, he saw a house with some light. He went to see if he could be allowed to spend the night even on their veranda. And he met this huge man in the house, giant of a guy, very scary looking. And the man said, yeah, what do you want? How can I help you? He said, I just want to spend the night, maybe out on the veranda, if you don't mind, just away from the rain. And the man, no problem. Actually, come in. Let me give you some food. And no problem. He went in, and as he served the food, he knocked on one trapdoor-like thing that had a lock, unlocked it, opened. This beautiful woman came out. He said, stop. He gave her food. I go back in, and he closed. And the baker was really angry. He wanted to say something. He wanted to accuse. He started plotting, like, will I report this? What should I do? Let me correct this immediately. But he remembered he paid a whole gold coin for a piece of advice, which was, learn to mind your own business. Don't be quick to judge. Diagnose before prescribing. And so he restrained himself And the big man asked him, so what do you think about that? He said, you know what, yeah, I'm not judging. You know your relationship better, what she did to you, etc., etc. And that's when this big man brought out one big axe that he was hiding under the table and put it aside. And he said, you are lucky you would have been number 41. That I've killed 40 people who just couldn't keep shut. They were quick to judge me. He said, that woman, I was supposed to get married to her. She and one other boyfriend of hers went and connived. She poisoned my food. And that day, I just wasn't hungry, so I gave the food to the dog, and the dog died immediately. I would have been dead. So I pretended I was dead. That's when I heard the sound of them coming back to the house. I pretended I was dead, and that's when I got to hear what their whole plot was. They were even happy and dancing that I was dead, and all this home and everything would be their own property. So I got up, carried my axe, I killed the guy. She begged for mercy. I just felt, no mercy. You are so wicked. But I didn't have the heart to kill her. The guy, I buried him outside. I would have buried you outside too with him. For her, I felt, okay, I'll put her in imprisonment. And I have that cellar. That's where she spends the day. And I'm still deciding what to do. She's been there now for up to around nearly 2 months. The baker kept quiet, and he was just praying for Suleiman, who had given him the advice of don't be quick to judge. Diagnose before you prescribe. Listen before you start answering. And learn to mind your own business. Don't be quick. The baker finished his food. The big man gave him a place to lie down. He couldn't sleep, of course, but he felt a bit safer. The next morning, he got up, they said bye, and he carried on his journey home. It was a long journey, but towards the end of the evening, when it was getting a bit late after Maghrib, after Isha, that's when he started to recognize the town. The town had grown big. But he knew the road and he knew past the mosque where to go until he finally came to his house. But before he went and knocked the door, he heard as if there was some party going on inside. He looked out of the window to see who he could recognize. He saw his family members with some strange people in there. And his wife was even, hugging and kissing one other man. And he was angry. How could she betray him? He who didn't go and remarry. He put his hand inside his bum, removed the knife. He was going to go and just kill them and kill himself. What kind of life is this? And just as he removed his knife, and was thinking of going knock on the door, open and go in, he remembered the last piece of advice he paid a very expensive gold coin for. Save your anger for the next day. Save your anger for the next day. And he said, no way, not for this one. Gaskiya, I've had enough, by God, I just have to, how can I live with this? But when he thought about how he benefited from the previous wisdom of keep to the road home, he benefited from the second piece of wisdom of mind your own business, don't judge too quickly. He said, okay, I'll just come back tomorrow and kill them all. He put his knife back. The big cake that he was carrying that Suleiman had given him, he just left it by the side of the window, went back to rest. He couldn't sleep that night. Very angry. The next morning, he just waited. When it was light enough and he knew people would be awake, he decided, you know what, let me just go and kill them now. Got walking on his way back home. As he was getting close to his house, One other neighbor saw him. Said, wait, oh, are you not the baker who used to live in this house? Said, yes, so what? Oh, sorry, oh, just to let you know, we were looking for you. We went round towns. We didn't find you. We finally caught the gangsters who killed that your neighbor. Some other people he had gotten in problem. That guy was obnoxious and had a lot of problems. He said, wow. Anyway, that doesn't concern me now. And they said, oh, before you, whatever, congratulations, your son came back from school. He has gone to university. He's a big man now. And your daughter's grown up. She's married. Your mother, she couldn't stop hugging, your son yesterday. We were at the house, a little party welcoming everybody else. And that's when this man said to himself, why? Actually, that's how I was going to kill everybody. He just looked at the man. He said, thank you. As he walked home, he said to himself, thank God he agreed to pay that gold coin for that precious piece of advice. Save your anger for the next day. That's what saved him. That's what saved his family. He prayed for Suleiman the wise. He got home, went straight to knock on the door. He knocked, knocked, knocked. And somebody opened the door. The young man said, yes, how can I help you? And the baker said, he laughed. He could recognize his son. He said, is your mother around? Said, yes. The mother said, who's at the door? She came, saw. She told everybody. She was screaming out of joy. Come in, where have you gone? We were looking for you. All he could keep saying is, I am sorry, I am sorry. I am so sorry. Now you're back, alhamdulillah. Introduce the daughter, introduce this, introduce that, etc., etc. Everybody was happy, but they hadn't prepared any breakfast, so they were thinking, okay, what can we eat? Check the fridge, check what can we bring. And the man said, oh, I've just remembered, actually, there's something I left outside. You left outside? Yeah, don't worry, I'll be back. So he went outside where he left that big cake the previous day, previous night. He got it, brought it back. He said, here, I brought you a cake from a person who, inshallah, one day we will all go and meet. This man is really responsible for me being still alive. But you know what? Yeah, let me give you the honor. Cut the cake and let's have it for breakfast. Everybody fine? Yes. They brought tea and drinks to the table. And as the wife cut this big cake, thick, rich cake, cut the cake into two, cut the cake again, 3 gold coins rolled onto the floor. The baker looked and he just smiled. Suleiman didn't go away with that money. Suleiman actually put the gold coins back into the cake that he gave him. And the family was like, where's this from? And the baker said, it was my pay that has come back. The wife said, but is it real gold? Said, yes, but that should be enough to last us for our whole life and more, our whole lives. She said, yes. The baker said, let's just say Alhamdulillah and pray. We'll go for a break now, and inshallah when we come back, I'd like us to dissect a few lessons from that story, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.